Hello, welcome to Bird Explored. So this is episode 4 and we are going to talk about golden eagle today. So Peter is going to um, join the program. So we both are talking about golden eagle, a little bit ecology and mostly, it's an important bird species. We are gonna talk about mostly the some cultural tradition involved golden eagle involved. So I just want to give a short introduction before move to the questions. So actually, there is a significant interaction between the golden eagle and the people of Central Asia. So this interaction is especially common in Kazakh, Kyrgyz, and Mongolian people. So golden eagle hunting has been a tradition in Central Asia for centuries. So in this tradition, eagles are trained to be used in hunting. So especially in Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Mongolia, the art of hunting with eagles is known as berkuchi or eagle hunting. So I will ask why they said berkuchi. I will ask Peter the reason. So this hunting method involves utilizing the natural hunting abilities of eagles to catch foxes, rabbits, and other small mammals. This tradition is only a method or of hunting, but also the cultural heritage and way of life, especially in Central Asia. So eagle hunting is learned from young age and passed down through the generations. So Berkutçe established a special bond with the eagles, which are usually captured from the wild and trained. This interaction involves a training process that makes years, aiming to enhance the eagles' hunting skills and direct them towards specific prey. So today, this traditional hunting continues in some communities and has also gained touristic appeal. Moreover, this tradition practice is regarded as an important part of cultural heritage of Central Asia. So the golden eagle is a really important and interesting raptor species. So we are going to talk about a little bit, as I said before, a little bit ecology and after that, this cultural stuff. But I just want to take Peter to the studio. Hello there.
Hello, Iku.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm fine. You look great.
Ah, thank you.
So, are you ready for the golden eagle?
I'm ready for the golden eagle.
So it is an interesting bird species. So we have golden eagle in Turkey. They are breeding. Actually, they are everywhere. Very very widespread bird species. I just want to show the picture of golden eagle.
Yeah, here it is.
Here it is. So it is very charismatic species.
So I can say a
Yeah,
couple of things about that photo.
yeah,
Um, if the viewers recall, the last time we spoke, we talked about the bald eagle, which was which is a member of the so-called fish eagles. They feed
right.
a lot on fish, but not exclusively. And uh, you may recall that one of the characteristics of the fish eagles is that the feathers on the legs um, don't extend all the way down to the toes. And you can see a little bit in this photo on the golden eagle that the feathers do continue down to the base of the toes. So eagles like the golden eagle are grouped in a group of eagles referred to as the booted eagles. It's just a sort of a term for these eagles that have feathers all the way down to the toes. The whole leg is feathered, as opposed to the fish eagles that have it. Uh, you can see the whole tarsus is bare on those. The other thing I wanted to mention about this photo and the golden eagle is it essentially gets its name because of the sort of golden wash color in the nape of the neck. You can see the sun hitting the back of the neck on this bird.
Yes.
It it's really quite a a beautiful golden color. So that's where the common name comes from.
Okay, so well, I just I mean focused on the distribution range of this species because it's very widespread.
Hmm.
So they are everywhere. I mean, look at this distribution range. They are everywhere in Europe and Asia and Middle Asia and also in North America. So it's very cosmopolitan bird species. I mean, I'm curious. I have some answers, but what do you think? What ecological and biological factors contribute to the golden eagle's widespread distribution across diverse habitats and regions? What do you think?
Yeah, so that is quite a wide distribution, a northern distribution.
Yes.
Um, and might as well mention now that there are various subspecies of golden eagle.
Yeah.
They vary in size, essentially. Um, but some answers to your question might relate to territoriality. Large eagles like this have
Hmm.
very uh, massive home ranges. We're talking miles. I don't know what the home range of a golden eagle is on average, but 10 miles might be a good guess. So there's one pair occupying 10-mile territory, and then the next pair is, you know, further away from that on 10 miles. These kinds of things could be even a larger territory than that. Um, they also exploit various prey species. Golden eagles, even though they're very large eagles, um, will prey on mammals like hares, marmots, um, animals like that. They'll also take birds. They'll take geese, and they'll take water birds. They'll take large game birds, um, and they'll also eat carrion. Um, the carcasses of decomposing animals. So that might have something to do with the distribution. There may also be something about their uh, their biogeographic history, which maybe you can speak to a little more than I can.
That's true. But I was gonna ask you, I mean, their diet also the carcasses you said,
Yeah.
not only.
Oh, yeah. Golden eagles will utilize carcasses. Again, a lot of these raptor species, especially if it's difficult to find prey, living prey, will feed on carcasses. Sure. Yeah. They have
Like
to make that.
they are like
Well, in that
vultures.
in that regard, vultures lack the talons and the powerful feet to kill animals.
Yeah.
Eagles, of course, can do that. But if it's harsh out, if there's a lot of snow or ground cover and they're not capturing enough live prey, they'll certainly have no problem feeding on a deer carcass or an elk carcass. Young eagles who are still learning how to hunt, they're not as successful as their parents. If they don't take advantage of some carrion and they become weak from hunger, death is just a little up the road for that for them. These birds
So,
need to continue to uh, to find food and keep their energy levels up to survive.
so their characteristics, also the high mobility characteristics, makes them, I think, very widespread. But I also want to ask, what do you think? I mean, I don't know the answer, but all these kind of eagles have same kind of territory size and high mobility characteristics.
You mean the different species?
Different species, yeah, but
Um,
bigger eagles, like
yeah,
like an eagle.
yeah. Well, the large eagles uh, tend to have large home territories. I mean, they're big birds. Um, it's not like it's not like some kind of a colonial bird or semi-colonial bird that has a nest somewhere, and then just a couple of 100 yards away there's a nest of another one. and that kind of thing. Um, yeah, the home ranges of these birds are generally pretty large.
So you said the nest and nesting adaptability because they can nest in various locations and including cliffs, trees, and even human made structures. The golden eagle I prefer some places.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
golden eagles are not really birds of the forest. I mean, you can see in the distribution that they do occupy regions where there are large forests, but in certainly in North America, they are quite abundant out on the open plains, um, places where there are uh, bluffs or cliffs. Golden
right,
eagles will very often build large stick nests on cliff ledges. They will also build nests in appropriate trees, and um, I think that there are occasional um, nest sites uh, talked about in the literature that nesting on the ground. Sometimes these birds will do that.
okay. So after all, yeah, after this little ecology, so we can, I think, move to the cultural stuff because we can focus on the interaction between golden eagle and people. And yeah, I have this slide, Peter. I made it this slide. I think it's very interesting.
Hmm.
Golden eagle and people. I have two questions here that I want to ask you. How has the tradition of golden eagle hunting, I mean, I said in the introduction Berkucci.
Hmm.
So what is the mean of Berkucci? Berkucci means eagle or eagle something.
Well, I'm not familiar enough with the language of these folks that have been hunting with these eagles for probably thousands of years, hundreds of years certainly. But I do know that the particular golden eagle subspecies that they use in places like Kazakhstan is called a berkut, Berkut, which is a word. I don't know that it means just eagle. I think it is a kind of very large golden eagle. So the word that you
Right.
mentioned there has that word in it. So I imagine it has something to do with the particular type of eagle. But you can see there that these birds are quite large. On the right, you can see the golden wash in the back of the nape of the neck that I mentioned. And these people will hunt with that big eagle on their fist from the back of a pony, and they they train the birds that they take from the wild. Now things may have changed a little bit, or maybe I just didn't have enough information initially about this, but I believe that they take these birds from the nest when they're still young. They haven't fledged yet, and they raise them up for years, and they get the birds, hungry enough to be able to chase prey. And some of these really big females, again, we have this reverse
Yeah.
sexual dimorphism in this bird. Females are much larger than males.
Bigger. Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned some of the prey items, foxes and rabbits
Rabbits.
or hares, things like that.
Right.
But these birds have been known to catch wolves um, and animals that large. Um, they'll take that an animal that large down, and then the hunter, the eagle hunter, will go up to the bird on the ground, and it may help to dispatch the quarry. And
Mhm.
then you get the eagle back up on the fist, and then the animals that are caught are skinned, and they'll wear the furs of some of these animals. I believe they do trade or sell the um, the furs and the hides from the animals that are captured by their eagles. Another thing I want to mention, maybe we can go to the next slide.
Yes.
So let
Yes.
me take a look at the next slide. Yeah, so you see on the head of that eagle, and the other ones, the other slide had one too. You see on the bird's head is something called a hood, and hoods are leather sort of caps that are used in falconry to calm down the bird that you're carrying. When you have a hood on an eagle or a falcon or a hawk, their eyes are covered, so they're in the dark. And when they're in the dark, they kind of just settle down. They're not distracted by anything, and you can transport the bird that way. I have an example of a hood here. This is a Dutch hood for a falcon,
Right.
and you can see on the back it's got two sets of braces. So these short braces open the back of the hood. Oops, sorry.
No
And
problem.
these long braces uh, close the back of the hood, right?
Yeah.
And the beak and the nostrils of the falcon come out that hole in the front, so the eyes are covered, right? Now here is here's a hood for a bearcat, a big golden eagle, that a friend of mine brought back from Kazakhstan.
Yes.
He went to see the demonstrations that they have over there for tourists, showing them out about eagle hunting. You notice that here's the opening for the eagle's beak and nostrils, and so the eyes would be covered, but there are no braces on the back, right? So that hood fits kind of loosely on the eagle, and the reason for that is that the eagle hunters will hunt the bird right out of the hood. So let's say you're on your pony, you're on the steps. It's very cold. You've got the eagle on your left fist usually with a big glove on, and it's got a hood on, so it's not able to see if there's any prey around. So the hunter then looks around. Maybe they see a hare running, and instead of messing around and wasting time with the braces on the back, they can just pull this right off the eagle's head quickly from horseback. And the eagle immediately sees the quarry, the prey, and goes right for it. So you can get this hood on and off really fast. And it's
Okay.
so these are the bear cut golden eagle hoods that they use uh, in training and hunting those birds.
Okay. Wow. Interesting. I mean, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that's an
So,
art. It's an art in itself to make these hoods.
right.
Yeah,
Right. It looks like very nice
tooled
handmade
leather. Yeah.
tool. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm gonna finish my question. How has the tradition of golden eagle hunting, I mean, we said Berkutchi, influenced the cultural identity and lifestyle of the people in Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Mongolia
Yeah.
over the centuries? Do you have any idea about this?
Well, I mean, it's obviously a very integral part of their culture and their lifestyle and history of their culture. As I indicated a moment ago, these the animals that are captured by the eagles are the skins are used by
Right.
the folks that have the eagles. You can see he has a fur hat on of some sort, maybe a fox. Um, but I believe they do trade them and they do sell them, and
Yes.
so it's become sort of an economic uh, part of the culture as well. Okay, so 6,000-year-old tradition. That's longer than I would have thought.
Yeah, based on the BBC News, I mean, I found this article, so they said the Mongolia's 6,000-year tradition.
Mm.
I mean, it's a lot. I mean, it's a very long time.
It's interesting because there are people in North America, Canada, and the U.S. Just a few falconers who do hunt with golden eagles. Um, it's usually in open areas, Montana, Wyoming, places like that where there's some you know a lot of flat land and large jackrabbits to hunt and those sorts of things. But there aren't that many people who hunt with golden eagles in uh, in the New World. But
Right.
it's not traditional in the New World like it is over there. And um, of course, the idea for doing it came from the traditional eagle hunters in Mongolia and Kazakhstan and elsewhere, and was brought over here fairly recently. It's not old at all in the New World eagle
That's
hunting.
true. So, Peter, is there any significant difference between North American golden eagle and European or the Asian the Asian golden eagle?
Yeah, my understanding is that the one that's used mostly in Eurasia is the largest subspecies. I think the North American subspecies are smaller. I think coloration isn't that different. There may be some plumage. In fact, I know there are some plumage characters um, that are used as well by taxonomists to separate them out. I don't know exactly what those differences are. Um, uh, we talked about the bald eagle last time in the last episode. You remember that the immature birds, they were
Yes.
all brown. They had a brown tail and a brown head, but the head turned white and the tail turned white when they got older. In golden eagles, to some extent, the tail feathers, when they're immature birds, have splotchy white in them, and then they get darker as the
Yes.
bird gets older. So there's a whole bunch of characteristics that um, you could look at to separate these birds out, young and adult and subspecies. I don't know how many subspecies there are of golden eagle, but I don't think it's that many. It's under 10, I'm sure.
Okay, so we'll check. I mean,
Yeah.
we can check. My last question. I mean, what are the unique training methods used by Bercucci to establish a special bond with golden eagles, and how do these methods enhance the eagle's natural hunting abilities?
Yeah, well, the art of hunting with birds of prey is generally it's either called falconry or hawking, and so this is a part of hawking or falconry, this hunting with golden
Yeah,
eagles. And when the birds are taken by people, um, people have to spend a lot of time with the bird. They keep it on their fist almost all day, even into the night, sitting around a campfire, sitting in a room, and getting the bird used to being with people, and getting used to the sort of noises of people and the surroundings that people have around them. And then all the while, you're offering this bird little bits of food, little pieces of meat, and so it starts to realize that you're a source of food, and and then you can get the bird to fly to your fist for a little piece of food, and then it knows that it comes back to you for food. And then after a while, you could take the bird out and let it chase uh, either uh, either quarry or prey on its own that you find, or you can use something called a lure, which is a stuffed rabbit or something that you pull around behind the horse. Bird learns how to go after it. Anyway, the bird rather quickly associates the falconer or the hawker or the eagle hunter uh, with food and with uh, companionship and so on. The birds very quickly learn that people mean food and that they'll be taken care of by the handler.
so I just checked the how many subspecies this
How
species
how wrong
has.
am how wrong am I?
No, you are not wrong. I mean, six different subspecies.
Okay, good.
So, and definitely Aquila chrysaetos
Canadensis, that's ours. Yeah.
canadensis, yeah, sorry. The North American subspecies is significantly smaller than the nominate one. So
Yep.
I mean, Asian one.
The old world one. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, the old world one. Yeah,
Yep.
old world one. So, also the North American golden eagles tend to have the shorter wingspans and lighter body weights compared
Okay,
to Eurasian counterparts.
makes sense.
So, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it is interesting, but it's very wide separate. And also the six different subspecies we have in the golden eagle, and one subspecies, I mean, from Iberian Peninsula. So only one species in North America, but the other five different subspecies from different places in old world. So one of them, Homo erie,
Hmm.
inhabits the Iberian Peninsula, North Africa, and the Middle East. I just want to underline the Iberian Peninsula because our green woodpecker study, so we found one interesting different genetic diversity. I mean, interesting different subspecies in Iberian Peninsula, and after the genetic work, I mean, elevate these subspecies to the species level.
Mm.
So the Iberian Peninsula, well, I told you because Iberian Peninsula always has these kind of different genetic diversity patterns. So maybe if we get any samples for, I mean, Homayeri from Iberian Peninsula, it might be a different species, maybe
Well,
because
that's interesting. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Go ahead. Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
It is interesting because the endemism and the genetic diversity always high in Mediterranean region, and Iberian Peninsula looks like a special place for bird species.
Well, it's interesting. There's another raptor species, the northern goshawk,
Mm,
which is a fairly large forest hawk, and the nominant is Accipiter gentilis from the Old World, and then the North American one was Accipiter gentilis atricapillus, a different subspecies. But recently, I think I'm getting this right. Recently, genetic work has shown that they're the same subspecies. So I think the North American bird is no longer subspecies Atricapillus. I think it's Gentilis, the nominant all
right.
the way around. Even though there are some significant physical differences.
Okay.
So so
Okay.
what I'm suggesting is that maybe the North American golden eagle canadensis is not, you know,
Real.
that yeah, not real. Um, so maybe that's another interesting
Yeah.
thing that can be done with genetic work.
Yeah, Peter, I think we should also talk about the subspecies problem in bird species because it's a big problem. There are lots of subspecies, and I remember George Barklow and other people, I mean, Joel Craycraft and Bob Zing,
Sure.
published a paper in PLOS ONE, and George said, I think he said 18,000 different bird species in the world, not 11,000 bird species because of this subspecies problem. So some subspecies not real, some subspecies completely real species. I mean, based on the history and the phylogenetic species concept.
Yeah, and of course the birds don't care about it. Subspecies
No,
are something that we just made up
right.
to try and sort things out. Yeah,
Yeah, but at some point it's important to describe all this genetic diversity because I mean because of the conservation.
sure.
It's gonna help, right? Okay, Peter. So I have all these questions, and today we finished golden eagle.
It's a good
So
bird.
next, it's a good bird. I mean, yeah, it's a very wide separate bird, and also it's culturally important for people. So today we finished, and I think we have almost 30 minutes. It's a reasonable time. So thank you so much. I think next week we are going to talk about another species, and but we have to decide. We have to pick up one species. Which species we should focus on? Which
Okay.
one?
So are you asking me which one we should do?
Right.
An
I must.
idea? Let's
Yeah.
see. We're gonna stay in the raptors.
Maybe we should. Well, what do you think? Maybe we should just change the topic and talk about maybe some other non-pasturing but not raptors, and then we can come back to raptors again.
Yeah. Well,
I
because
don't know.
there's so many really neat raptor species, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, my
well,
favorite so far, falconets.
right. That's a good one. But
It's a good.
why don't we talk next time about the kites? Let's stay in the raptors and
Okay.
talk about
Staying
the
raptors.
kites.
Okay. All the kites. So in general.
In
right?
general, yeah, and we'll pick out a couple of interesting ones like the snail kite and
Kites.
things like that.
Okay, in Turkish name for kites, çaylak.
I did not know that.
I know. What do you know right now? Okay,
Right.
so thank you so much, and
Hey, if you like what we're doing here, make sure you subscribe to the
oh
channel.
yes, definitely. I put the, I mean, note people can see, but yeah, they should subscribe. So our subscribe is getting higher and higher, but we need more. And then if they support, we can continue make these videos. I
Sounds
think it's
good.
important knowledge channel for birds.
Yeah, we're gonna pack a lot in over the next, I don't know, 20 years.
Right. So thank you so much, and
All right.
I'll see you next week.
Okay, Utku. Thanks
Bye bye.
again. Right.
Yep. Bye.